Well, we are looking for that. And for the record, not planning on making a resume tape. I misspoke a little earlier. I'm here for the long haul. Time for But First, brought to you by Shutterstock. What can you create with 100% Shutterstock? Hey, Wild, do you remember last week you had an issue with NBA head coaches opting for quarter zips and golf polos over full suits, right? Choosing comfort over class. Well, the Dallas Mavericks are splitting the difference, right? Not too fancy, not too funky. They're going with the seldom seen in public, but always a smart idea, chef's uniform. New Mavs head coach Jason Kidd cooking up something this season. Check it out. Now, just so you know, I love this look. It's roomy. Looks like you can fit two coaches in there. It's comfy. It's practically a bed sheet. It's still suit-like with all the buttons in the collar. Does he look like he can make you an omelet? Sure does. Give you a little trim back here? Maybe. Bowling at 5 tonight? Yes, sirree, Bob. But I'm on board, Wilds, because it's not a polo or a quarter zip. It's not a suit or a sweatshirt. It's your standard oversized short sleeve button down like Sipowicz would wear, right? Like Sipowicz. By the way, Dallas Mavericks opened the season in 13.
You're all about to witness history. The heavyweight trilogy, there hasn't been one in the last 20 years.
You want a moment where you can't take your eyes off the screen because you're so afraid that if you do 1 second that you're gonna miss the best moment of your life.
You got the freight train versus the 18-wheeler. Carnage and mayhem.
You have to be perfect for 12 rounds. I only have to be perfect for 2 seconds.
Someone's getting knocked the out.
Don't blink.
Okay, I need the producer of that promo to also do my resume tape. That was amazing. I cannot wait. Broussard, you are as fired up as I am for this fight. What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I am, Jenna. This is the trilogy, as they said. And most people, because of the way Fury demolished Wilder in the second fight, they think it's going to be similar, if not worse, this time around. Obviously, Wilder, or Fury, is much bigger, and he's the far better boxer, more skilled. But I don't think it's that simple. The people are only giving Wilder a shot with his right hand if he catches him. I think there are more questions about both fighters that's going to make this very intriguing. With Fury, he had COVID in the summer. Has he had time to fully recover from that? Did that take anything out of him? He's also coming in 20 pounds heavier, according to his trainer, than he was last time. Is that a sign of he's going to be stronger, as they're saying? Or is it a sign that he's not in great shape? There were rumors before he got COVID that he wasn't looking good in his training camp. He really didn't want this fight. He wanted Anthony Joshua. He kind of had to be forced into it. So is he taking Wilder too lightly? Then on Wilder's side, obviously the psyche. All right, guys who've been bullies and who've been dominant and undefeated for long stretches in their career, really for the first half of their career, have not responded well to being knocked out for a first loss. You can go back to Sonny Liston. You can go back to George Foreman. You can go back to Mike Tyson. Heck, even Ronda Rousey. All right, it's hard. Once you get in that ring, is Wilder, has he gotten rid of all those demons, or will the demons return once he steps in the ring against Fury? And then, can he box? All right, that was the thing. He's supposed to, the whole training, he got a new training staff. They were supposed to teach him some boxing skills, but can you teach an old dog new tricks? And will he just revert to being the slugger that he was once the going gets tough? So I think it's going to be a good fight, a tough fight, much closer than the second one. But I've got Fury in a unanimous decision, in one that goes down.
They now drop to 2 and 3 on the season. So let's check out your NFC West standings. Not going to be easy for Seattle if Russ misses significant time with that finger, especially with that porous off defense, rather, of theirs. All right, Nick, do Seattle's problems go well beyond Russell Wilson's injury at this point?
Oh, John, glad we're starting here, because I do think it is important that the audience know on this Football Friday there is a team that someone on this show picked to make the Super Bowl, dare I say win the Super Bowl, who has a great quarterback and maybe the worst defense in NFL history through 5 weeks. and is in last place in their division, and it is not my Kansas City Chiefs. It is Kevin Wild's beloved Seattle Seahawks. And so while he's cast arrows and stones throughout the weeks about the Chiefs' defense, Seattle, as we will discuss here, has major issues independent of their Iron Man quarterback, who has never missed a start, suffering, it's weird because it's a finger, but the most significant injury of his career maybe up to this point. I think Seattle was in huge trouble before Russ got hurt. If he misses real time, they are on the brink of a season from hell, because they are approaching the part of their schedule where they must rack up wins. They have Pittsburgh, New Orleans, Jacksonville. In that division, the NFC West, you've got to win the games you're supposed to win. They've already, in my opinion, Broussard, lost 2 games they were supposed to win, the Titans and the Vikings. Losing to the Rams is fine, but they were a mediocre team when Russ had 9 touchdowns, 0 picks, and a 130 passer rating through 4 weeks. Now they have a defense that can't get stops. They have an offense that might be temporarily relying on Geno Smith, and that is a recipe for disaster. So, yeah, I thought they were looking shakier than expected when Russ was out there. Now, Geno played well last night, to his credit, but I don't think that's sustainable. But if Russ has to miss time, if they don't go 3-0 over these next 3, it's very hard to see how they get the 10-11 wins you're going to need to make the playoffs. So, yeah, if I'm a Seahawks fan, if I'm Kevin Wildes or Mina Kimes this morning, I am very, very anxious about what the next few weeks are going to look like for my team.
Stressed out. Stressed out.
Well, Nick, I'm with you to a large degree. Obviously, if Russell Wilson is out for any significant amount of time, they're done. I'll go that far. They are done. And yes, Geno looked good. Hopefully for Geno, he may have gotten himself a job elsewhere in the future, because he did look very good, and the interception at the end of the game wasn't his fault. But Geno's not going to carry this team to the playoffs. And so they do need Russell Wilson. But, Nick, I got to push back on you. It just makes me chuckle the way you emphasize poor defenses of other teams. And yet you just gloss over the poor defense of the Chiefs. Now, remember, a week ago, Pete Carroll was on the under duress list because he needed to get this defense together. The defense is atrocious. The defense gives up more yards than even your Chiefs, Nick, and that's saying a lot, because they're both at the bottom of the league in yards allowed on the offensive end. So they've got major problems there. But you brought up some good stuff, this schedule, and that's why I'm not ready to bury them yet. I'm not sure if you're burying them yet, but I'm not going to bury them just yet, because, one, Russell has 9 days to get right, okay? It was a Thursday night game, so they don't play for another 9 days. I would be a bit stunned if he doesn't play Sunday, the following Sunday against Pittsburgh. So I don't think he will be out for any stretch of games. And then you brought up the schedule, and they need to go 3-0, at the very least 2-1. But to your point, they should go 3-0. And if they lose to Pittsburgh, then on 9 days rest, then I may be with you in saying they're done. They won't make it this year. But they still have, Nick, a lot of opportunities to beat up some of those teams in their division. I mean, that's one thing about playing in the NFC West. You do get to meet each other. It's tough, but if you can get a few wins against your opponents, you can take their records down too. So I'm not ready to bury them, lose to Pittsburgh in 9 days, and then I may be with Nick Wiles and saying that you're done.
Okay, I'm going to make a few corrections. First, I'm going to talk about Geno Smith. Then I'm going to talk about our buddy Nick Wright. And then I want to talk about Jamal Adams. First of all, Geno Smith. He didn't play okay. He didn't play all right. He didn't play pretty good. He played straight up amazing. So if Russ is missing time and you can put Geno in there, he threw one touchdown. He's like, yeah, ice in the veins. I was like, man, you've been waiting on that one for a while. I didn't know you could do that. If you threw your first touchdown in 3 years, he was ready for it. He played great. Second of all, about the Seahawks defense. They're not good, But the idea that Nick can come on national television and be like, oh, it's a major problem, not like my Chiefs, is insane. That's like saying, like, you know, I wouldn't go swimming with bull sharks, but you can go swimming with great white sharks. Like, huh? Aren't you screwed both ways? Like, no, if you look at the numbers, one slightly more dangerous.
Can I respond
Number
to that
3, Jamal
before you get to
Adams.
Jamal Adams?
No, I'm doing my thing. I said Jamal. I said, talk about 3 things.
Okay.
I got to talk about Jamal Adams. You can come back later. Here's Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams, I like Jamal Adams. But he had plays yesterday that boggles the mind. The play to Deshaun Jackson that bailed out a bad series from Stafford, he overruns it, gets totally lost.